In 1951 we travelled to Australia by ship, the SS Largs Bay, 14,000 tonnes. We went via South Africa, Spanish Morocco, Malta, Egypt at Port Said, Aden and India, and finally arrived in Fremantle. We worked in Melbourne for a while, but we worked through Victoria, South Australia, came back to Victoria, then up to New South Wales and eventually to Queensland. And en route we worked as timber contractors, fencing contractors, we worked on building sites, and I also worked with my father on building a swimming enclosure in the Clarence River at Harwood Island. We eventually settled in Queensland after coming to what is now Sheldon and picking this beautiful block for its timber, its creek and its natural slopes.
So William, when you bought this property in 1956, did you ever think that you would still be living here today?
Yes, we thought it would be a lovely place to raise children in a healthy environment, which has proven to be the case with your father and his two brothers Tim and Andrew.
How did you afford such a beautiful piece of land for so little?
Well, in those days land was comparatively cheap. There were no roads, no piped water, no electricity, no telephone, no mail service, no buildings, and to get into the block we had to cut a road in through fairly thick bush for about 2 kilometres, crossing Wallaby Creek twice and cording the road so that we could get access to the property in rainy weather.
Would you ever show us some of the land that you've cleared?
Yes, certainly. Well, Natty, when we came here in 1956 and into the early 60s, all this area was thick forest with some of the trees, the ironbarks and the gums, 600 mil thick at the base, and we had to clear an area for the house, the sheds, and another area on which the cows could graze. We had no electricity, we had no piped water, we had to either collect rainwater or bring it from as far away as Gumdale in the drought. Natty, this will give you some idea of the size of the trees on this property, particularly the eucalypts. This is an ironbark and it measures about 3.6 metres around its base. An expert has said that given the fact that it's growing in stony ground and the size of the buttress, the height of the tree and the thickness of the upper limbs, he said that it would be aged somewhere between 250 and 300 years old.
So Janice, you're William's wife. How did you and William meet?
Well, Bill was a police officer who came out to Blackall. I went up to get my driver's licence and he was the police examiner. He took me from a test, failed me, and told me he'd teach me to drive. So that's how we met each other.
So what did you experience as a police officer?
Well, Natty, I served in various parts of the state, including Mount Isa, Blackall, Rathdowney, and I was on the motorcycle patrols for 8 years, which was very interesting. I investigated numerous types of accidents, including aircraft, railway, motor vehicle accidents, and I investigated murder-suicides, and I was a prosecutor for 3 years in the magistrates' court. Very interesting life.